What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at the 2021 Ford Bronco Sport and see how the differences comparing it to what it's based off of, which is the outgoing Ford Escape. Huge shout out and thank you to Mooresville Ford. They're providing both of these for today's video. Definitely check out the link to their website in the description below. They have a huge selection of all the brand new 2021 model year Fords, and they're getting a ton in ready to go. So we have the Bronco Sport next to the Ford Escape. If you're unfamiliar with the new Bronco that Ford has introduced, there are two Broncos. You got the big one based off the Ford Ranger, and then the smaller one, the Bronco Sport, which is based off of the crossover SUV that is the Ford Escape. So we're gonna first start talking about the styling. They are completely different, as you can tell. The Bronco Sport is very boxy, has that rugged off-road design to it. You can see the squared off grille with Bronco written out very boldly. It has massive headlights with more of a square shape to it and round rings, kind of looking like the original Bronco from back in the day. Looking at the Ford Escape now, it's much more smooth. It has a lot sleeker lines to it, larger headlights with more of a round sculpture to them, and then chrome trim on the grille, a little bit larger single grille, and more flowing lines to make it look a little bit more conservative. And then equally, when we take a look at the hoods of the two vehicles, a lot more boxy on the Bronco, a little bit squared off, and then the Escape is a little bit sleeker and softer looking. So already from the front, you can tell the Bronco is an off-road focused, aggressive design, and then the Escape is a little bit more conservative for more street use. As we take a look at the side profile, it's about 8 inches shorter overall length comparing it to the Escape, and then an inch or so shorter wheelbase. We have some bold designs to it. It's got that boxy theme as you would expect. The roofline is even raised up for the rear passengers to give you better headroom, and then you can see the roof rails on top, so it has that rugged design to it. And then we have black fender flares and black molding on the side to really give it that rugged design, and a nice looking split 5-spoke design wheel with more of a boxy look to it. And then back over on the Escape, it's a lot more sleek like we saw on the front. You can see more of a sculpted side profile, similar proportions, but again, more rounded off. There's not really any sharp folds or anything to the metalwork. It's all rounded to give it that conservative design. And then moving to the back end of the Ford Escape now, it does have Escape written out. We have some chrome trim to it and a little bit sleeker design for the rear. And the taillights are mounted very nicely to the rear end to all blend in. And then for the rear end of the Bronco Sport, one notable difference is the fact that the glass and liftgate open separately. You have two buttons down here. Hitting the glass one, this pops open and you have access to the interior. This is a really cool touch, I think really nice for the Bronco. A lot of modern SUVs don't even have this option anymore. And then closing this up, we have the door button on the other side to open up like your standard liftgate. So that is a very cool design. We have Bronco written completely out, just like you saw in the Escape, but a little bit more bold font. You can see the Sport logo, and then more boxy designs to it. Same with the taillights as well. So from the outside overall design, this is a very boxy version of the Escape, which I think looks super cool. It gives it that rugged, unique appearance. Now let's hop into the interior. We're gonna hop into the Bronco first. As you can see, we open up the door. This has a more basic interior, cloth seating. It has a really cool design with a nice pattern in the center of the seat, and then a different pattern on top, and then solid black on the sides. And then now moving inside the Ford Escape, we can go in here. A little bit different seat, a little bit more conservative looking. It's all one color, but we do have two different patterns and color contrast stitching. So now hopping into the Ford Escape, you can get a really good look at the overall door panel. It has a cool design to it, some trim and everything. And then going ahead, hopping on inside, you can see how everything is laid out. The engine start stop button is kind of at an angle, which is pretty neat. We can fire it up. We have two different gauges on the left and right side, as well as an LCD screen right in the center, then all of your buttons. The screen has a few different parameters within the engine, and then the touchscreen Sync 3 system right in the center here. All of your shortcuts on the bottom. This is going to be identical to the Bronco. And then below this, we have more controls and air vents, all of your climate controls, a little bit of storage, and then the gear selector, electronic park and brake, and some cup holders. So this is a look at the dashboard and everything for the Escape, and then the armrest as well. And then moving on over to the Bronco Sport, you can see how everything is a little bit more boxy. We have a cool rubber material here, just a durable feeling material, and a little bit of material down here as well with more of the rubber. And then hopping on inside to this one, a little bit higher off the ground. The door still's a little bit different, I'm noticing. We have the Bronco logo in the center, pretty much the same steering wheel outside of that. Engine start stop button is a little bit different looking. We have very similar gauges as you just saw in the Escape, and then similar headlight switches over on the left side. we have a little bit more modern looking screen with a nice bezel. This is identical as well. And then a little bit different layout for all of the controls for radio. You have a storage cubby that we did not see in the Escape. Pretty much the same climate vents, a little bit different layout, but nonetheless, you can definitely tell a lot of similarities for this interior. This one just has a little bit more rugged design to it. So now on to rear seat space. In this Bronco, I have a mile of headroom. I can literally fit my hand like that. So that roofline does a lot. I'm 5'11". I have the driver's seat set to my height, and I have pretty good amount of knee room and foot room. Armrest is in a great spot. We can open this up. You have really good armrests and cup holders. Very roomy for being a shorter vehicle. I am nicely impressed. You have some zippable pockets right here for a little bit of storage that you can be nice and hidden, which is really cool. And then a cool webbing design under here for other items, air vents, some USB ports. Really nice overall. These headrests do fold down as well for driver visibility, but I'm very impressed with the space in the back seats. So jumping now into the Ford Escape, this is where you find the difference in overall length. There is more room in the back seats. Not only that, this seat is actually on sliders. I can push it all the way forward and slide it all the way back. I have much more leg room. I'd say maybe 2 or 3 inches more knee room, and same with foot room. And these seats recline. You can put them all the way up or all the way back and actually recline a little bit more. Headroom, I would say, is similar. It's a little bit shorter than this one, but still plenty of headroom. It is a little bit more roomy back here. Similar thing right here in armrest, same amenities as well, and you only have one little storage pocket on the Escape, but you do have a little bit better use in the Escape, being able to slide and recline. So before we go ahead and test drive the Escape back to back with the Bronco Sport, let's check out the rear cargo space. Opening up each liftgate, of course the Bronco Sport does have the glass. So now, as you can take a look at the insides, the Bronco has a rubberized floor, which is really cool for the back. And some of the trim level Bronco Sports have a full rubberized floor for the entire interior, making this a little bit more rugged. So that's really cool to see. We have some hooks on the farthest side for grocery bags, things like that. And then this one does have lights that will illuminate for when it is dark outside, which is really cool to see. Looking at the Escape now, we have a small LED light up top. Not going to be as good as what you find in the Bronco Sport. And then this is all carpeting. Just to actually visualize the difference in sizes, I have our 2 camera bags. We'll load these up real quick. So with these 2 camera bags, kind of gives you a good idea of the interior space for this car. Then if we hop into the Escape now, it's a little bit bigger, as you can tell. We have more room around them, as you can see. So starting off, getting my bearings driving in the Ford Escape before we hop into the 2021 Bronco Sport. This is a good baseline because this is what the Bronco Sport is based off of. This is a very normal vehicle. As we come to a stop, we'll kind of feel out the acceleration and the visibility. Getting up to speed with this engine in this car, it's peppy enough. We're up to 30 already, and now we're at 40, and we're at 50. Quarter throttling it, just kind of get up to speed. And then as far as ride quality goes, I'm kind of feeling it out. It's very normal. You know, the Escape isn't exactly anything crazy. It's a very normal SUV, a crossover SUV. It does what you need it to do. The view out in this vehicle, you have a really big windshield and then large glass on the left and right side. Mirrors all do a really good job. Left and right shoulders, you have pretty good visibility. So that's about it for the Ford Escape. It's a very normal driving vehicle, comfortable, smooth, everything you need it to do. Let's hop in the Bronco Sport, see if anything is different, and have some fun. So setting off now in the 2021 Bronco Sport after driving the Escape. First things, just to get this out of the way, you can tell this is the same vehicle. The steering wheel, aside from the Bronco logo, is the exact same. The gauges are pretty much the same. While these are laid out slightly different, these are the same screen, the same radio controls, same climate controls, same controls down here. It's definitely the same items. Center console is the same. That's a lot of similarities between the two vehicles, as you would expect, because they are based off of the same vehicle. And of course, Ford is going to use the same things in each vehicle. So now, as we get up and go, this car has the 3-cylinder engine. Both of them do, actually. Getting up to speed, I'm noticing they're not underpowered. They actually get up and go as you would think, and it's nice to know that even the smaller engine is adequately powered. Comfort feels pretty much the same as well. So I think fundamentally the Escape and Bronco Sport are the same vehicle. You're not going to notice a difference as far as the driving. What you're going to notice the difference is the cool factor, I think. In this Bronco, the first thing, the visibility is completely different. This hood is huge. You can see it going really long, far out in front of me, and the big bulges on top of it. It's aggressive looking, it's muscular. It feels like I'm in something that I want to hit the trails with and get this thing all dirty. So it definitely has that rugged aspects to it. The side mirrors are a little bit smaller, but then looking over your left and right shoulder, the left pretty much the same as the Escape. Over your right though, I think visibility is a little bit better. So while you have smaller mirrors, you have better over your right shoulder. Aside from that, they're pretty much very similar. And then on top of that, the Bronco Sport does have different drive modes. We have the GOAT modes down below. I believe that is Go Over All Terrain. But we do have a normal mode, which we're in right now. It has a Bronco logo on the screen. There's a sand mode, an eco mode, sport, and slippery. So it's nice to see this vehicle having those capabilities. In sport mode, the throttle is a little bit more touchy and the transmission is a little bit more aggressive as well. Coming to a stop, the brakes do the same. But this is definitely that SUV, if you're looking for something different, has the fun factor to it. Nothing wrong with the Escape. My mom actually has one and she really likes it. But I think if you're looking for a small size crossover SUV that is different and unique, the Bronco Sport is the one you're gonna want. It has a lot of cool features to it, and more importantly, it has the off-road mindset. This is a vehicle that can actually do really well off-road, especially with the four-wheel drive system in it. It has more ground clearance, better approach angles, departure angle, breakover, all those kind of things. So with the Bronco Sport, I think you're getting a really good size small SUV crossover, but with those capabilities and the fun factor. And just because we're in a Bronco, there's a little bit of gravel I'm gonna go over just so we can say we went off-roading in a Bronco. But going over this, it feels more at home now. It feels like this is the sort of terrain you're gonna wanna take your Bronco Sport on. The Escape is more at home on the pavement where it belongs. But I like how with the Bronco Sport, it has that fun factor. And in today's market, we're missing that. So many vehicles are becoming the same thing across the board. Doesn't matter what brand you're going with, they're becoming the exact same vehicle, crossover to crossover. So I think Ford is taking that awesome leap to make something that is fun. The Bronco Sport is super fun, and I don't know, it makes me already smile and I'm not even doing anything in it. And I think Ford is killing it already, especially with the big Bronco coming out. Well, this is definitely pretty sweet. But I think that is about it for the Bronco Sport, comparing it with the Ford Escape, which is what it's based off of. I think the Bronco Sport is a cool fun factor comparing it to the normal Escape. A lot of similarities between the two, but the Bronco definitely has a little bit cooler styling to it. I think it's more aggressive, fun to drive, different view out, better capabilities. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content. We have full reviews of this Bronco Sport and a brand new Escape in the description below, as well as Mooresville Ford's website. Check them out. But that's it guys, I will see you next video.